The most important thing that you can do is to feel grounded within your purpose. And that's exactly what you're talking about. You're feeling grounded and talking with me today, as am I with you, because we know that this is our purpose. And it's to speak about taking ownership in yourself, which then relates back into ourselves, taking ownership within who we are. As today's focus is living without shame towards our mental well-being, how important is it for us to live without shame towards taking ownership in our mental health challenges?
It's the foundation, Haley. It's the foundation.
Yeah.
It's everything, and I know that sounds crazy and it sounds like I'm just throwing this out, but it's everything. Well, you got to think about shame, like the word shame, like what does that even mean? I think that's an important thing to just explore, to understand, because the more you understand about it, the more you can sort of figure it out and help yourself and others. So
Yep.
shame is when we think we violate some sort of social norm, right? So we think we're not fitting in, we're not doing something right. We don't fit some box in our own mind. And then what happens is we develop this negative view and perspective on ourselves based on that feeling of not fitting in or doing something right based on that societal norm. And what that does, Haley, is it sets off a cascade, a complete cascade of negative thinking, anxiety, depression. So imagine if you already have depression or anxiety or bipolar disorder or an eating disorder or whatever it may be. And now you're saying, oh my God, I'm not like everyone else because I can't go to parties or be social, or I'm too depressed to get out of bed. So not only am I depressed, but now I'm shameful of what I'm feeling and how I'm not like everyone else. And now that just perpetuates the self-talk and you get stuck in this cycle. So it's so important, so important to identify that feeling of shame, understand what that self-judgment is about, and cut it off, figure out how to cut it off.
Yeah. And I think recognize the fact that the shame's actually coming from society's point of view pointed to you, right? So what's your relationship with your mental well-being? And it's so empowering and freeing when you take ownership of just that. Now, that doesn't come easy, and it's not something we've always been talking about. So we do need to give ourselves a little bit of a break. I feel like only in the past 2 years, we have necessarily been speaking about it in the media in a place where we can say that you can live a happy, successful lifestyle and still champion and walk alongside your mental illness. It brings me straight back to self-acceptance, right? Because in the body image world, it's all about living in a state of acceptance. But acceptance works not only personally, but also professionally. It allows us to really feel grounded in our being and, most importantly, our worth. Do you feel acceptance is something that comes over time, or can it be kind of this moment by moment thing?
Acceptance is something that takes practice. It's something that takes a daily repetition. Now, I want to say something that may resonate with you. Do you know what, some people don't even know what this is. I don't know if I'm crazy. Do you know what sea glass?
Tell me.
Right. Do you know what sea glass is? Like sea glass, right? Like if you're on the beach and you see this beautiful stone that washes up, that's smooth, but it used to be like something else. It used to be like shards of glass or something, right? So it's like sea glass, right?
Dr. Dominic,
yes,
the surfer is coming out in you.
It's totally coming out. You guys are singing and I'm going surfing this weekend too. But so sea glass, right? This is how we are shaped from the past and even moving forward. And the way that sea glass is formed is little tiny inputs over years and years and years. Now, when we're looking at ourselves and we're really trying to change ourselves positively and add acceptance into our life, we have to know that we're like sandblasting that sea glass to try and make it change a little bit, but it takes a lot of little inputs. Okay. So that's why I mean, it's like practice. So it's grounding yourself, understanding that potential feeling of shame or those negative feelings and saying it's okay. And then normalizing it, but continually doing that. So to answer your question, I think it's a long-term goal with lots of little inputs to just reshape that sea glass that is you, that's been tumbling in that ocean for all these years, getting shaped in different ways. Now, good psychotherapy and a good therapist, that can be like sandblasting it and kind of working a little harder and faster, but it does take work and practice. And I think that's an important point, Because we live in a quick fix society.
Mm.
And everyone's like, I want to be better yesterday. I'm depressed. I don't want to feel this anymore. What can I do? What can I buy? What drug can I take? How do I feel better? And you're talking to somebody that's been in psychiatry, behavioral health for years and years and years now. And the good news and the bad news is that there is no quick fix. But knowing that is good news because it's just practice, right?
Well, it brings us back to that we're ever evolving beings.
Mm.
We're going to always evolve, and so is our mental health and our well-being journey as we grow older into ourselves and into our surroundings, into the new energies that are being brought into our lives. And I think it's so silly to say, okay, even in the body positive world, I'm body positive. Okay, cool. I'm going to be positive every single day for the rest of my life, and nothing's ever going to come into it. Well, that's not realistic, honey. I'm so sorry to break it to you. What's realistic is that we feel our emotions deeply, and we should be able to live unapologetically by knowing there's freedom in the ups and the downs and the evolution of who you are.